Life Fixers. Hope you're having an awesome day. Are you ready to rewire your brain for an extraordinary marriage? Oh yeah, you will. On today's episode, we are on for 1 million downloads per episode by the end of 2025. If you like this episode, can you help us and help your loved ones by sharing this episode with your family and friends so that way we can reach our goal and they too can have that extraordinary relationship. Now, back to our episode. Today's episode is a complete rule breaker. We've got someone who just does the opposite or different or unique or special or however else you want to put it than everyone else. A complete rule breaker, and the episode itself is a proof of it. I am so excited to be here. Thank you so much, Joyce, for being here with me. You want to start by telling us and explaining to the listeners just what you told me right before I hit record, how you wake up, or rather I should say go to sleep every single day in the morning when it's like 7 a.m. by you, sometimes 6, and you sleep in the morning and are up the whole night. When did you start doing this and how did this affect your marriage?
Oh, it's worked extremely well. I worked from the time I was 18. I worked for 30 years at Detroit Edison. I was a stenographer, started out as a stenographer, then I was promoted to senior stenographer, then secretary, then supervisor. And so I just went up the ladder, starting at 18 years old. And I worked 8 to 5, 9 to 5 for 40 years. So, it works well. So my husband was working as well. He was working 8 to 5, 9 to 5, the same types of jobs that I had, corporate America.
Right. So then during those times, you weren't able to sleep during the day like you do now.
Exactly. So I went to work. But then the weekend came, and when Friday came, I was up all night.
Partying?
Yeah.
Living life the way it should be, right?
That's what I think. Yeah.
And you have kids?
Yeah, I've got 2 sons. My youngest one is 51 years old. And when he was little, he's the same way I am. He likes the night too. And that's what we used to do. We used to sit up and I would cook in the middle of the night. Now when he turned 12, I taught him how to handle the kitchen, the stove and all of that. He used to make us French fries, and we would be watching movies and eating French fries. So, and now his kids, they're the same way. They're up at 3, 4, and 5 o'clock in the morning. His daughter, Medina, is 11, and his son, Dakari, he'll be 9 in December. And I have to make, when they spend the weekend with us, I have to make them go to bed because they can stay up later than I can.
You've got tiny bit more energy than you. Oh, that's so good. And I can't imagine your husband totally doesn't mind, you said. How's that like for him?
Well, he's a runner. So his name is Pap. So Pap is a runner. He climbs mountains. He's done 4.5 marathons. He's climbed Mount Baldy, which is over 10,000 feet. And he's a morning person. So when he gets up, he's out running. He ran, I think it was this morning. If he didn't run this morning, he's going to run tomorrow morning. And then he gets up probably around 8, 9, something like that, to go running. And he doesn't come back until later in the day, sweaty.
So while you're sleeping, he's getting his exercise and prepping and doing all those stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I guess you have like a few hours from when you wake up, when you said like 2-ish, 3-ish, till he goes to bed. I don't know what time that is.
No, but he goes to bed late as well. But yesterday was movie night, Friday night. So we didn't go to bed till probably around 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning.
And he was fine being up like almost 24 hours.
Well, he kind of dozes while we're watching movies. He kind of dozes in and out, but he wakes up and he'll ask me what was going on with the movie, so it works perfectly for us.
Super happy. I like that. I love that when people don't have to stick to the rules of society. So cool.
I can't stand that kind of stuff. No way.
Yeah. Let's do what's best for us. I like that so much. Okay,
Mhm.
so you've written quite a few books, but the one
10.
I'm really interested in, 10, wow, that's a lot, is the best way to keep a man is to let him go. Can you
Among
tell us
other
how
things.
yeah, among other things, of
That's right.
course.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so can you tell us about that one?
This book came about because I was seeing so much, and I'm still seeing it, even more now than when I wrote the book. So many females disrespecting their males in their lives. And it's gotten worse now than, like I said, when I wrote the book. But, and then I was seeing them just not doing the best to making their best effort to make sure that to maintain a healthy and happy relationship. So I wrote this book. It's only 64 pages, and that includes 22 pages of my own recipes. And I'm told that I'm a fabulous cook. And so the book really
I could
is.
imagine, especially if you're cooking in the morning with all your energy and love.
Yeah.
Ooh, what's your favorite dish to make?
My favorite is skillet chicken and rice. I made that up. You like chicken?
Am I
Do you
allowed
like
to say
chicken?
that? Am I
Okay.
allowed to say the answer is no?
Yeah, okay. Well, if you don't like chicken, then you can substitute beef or whatever it is. But so it's chicken, rice, chicken broth, and onions. That's all it is.
Oh, wow. Sounds good.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
delicious. I salivate when I'm making it. Yeah.
Okay. So inside your book
Mm-hmm.
has 22 pages of your recipes, which
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure if they're all like that, they're
Okay.
probably delicious.
All right. Look, you want to hear the recipes?
Let's hear.
Okay. I start with desserts.
Again, rule breaker. I love
Yes.
this.
Apple pie, banana pudding. My family lines up when I make banana pudding. They line up with cups and spoons in hand. And Yeti's pound cake. That recipe's been in our family for over 50 years. Lemon cream pie, pineapple or cherry cream cheese pie, spaghetti meat sauce, lasagna, chili, macaroni and cheese. I've given my macaroni and cheese recipe to I don't know how many people. Mashed potatoes, pepper steak, skillet chicken and rice. That's the one I told you about. Tuna salad, oven fried chicken, beef stew, top of the stove chuck roast. I put my chuck roast on the top of the stove. I don't put it in the oven. I think the oven dries it out. Meatloaf, chicken and dressing, dry beans or peas with smoked turkey, greens or cabbage with smoked turkey. And the last recipe is sauteed cabbage. That's it.
Ooh. Oh, wow. Okay. So those sound really good. But I now want to know about keeping your marriage. And back to what you were saying. Yes.
All right. Now, I'm going to read you the chapter headings for the book. Now, the one thing that I start out on page 2 says, take heed. Based on my 50 plus years of observation, I would say that 80% of the success of a relationship rests on the shoulders of the woman. This book explains why. So now the introduction. My husband and I have, Pap and I have been together for 64 years, since we were 13 years old.
Wow.
He'll be 78 next week. I'll be 78 in February. So we've been together since we were 13. And we've been married for 54 years. So, and Pap, my nickname is JJ. Pap gave me that nickname when I was
that name.
15 years old.
Can I call you JJ from now on?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Everybody does.
Oh, you should have told me. Okay, yeah, super glad you told me now.
Pap gave me that name. So JJ. My grandkids call me Grandma J. My nieces and nephews call me Aunt JJ.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah. Introduction. The best way to keep a man is to let him go. My late mother-in-law told me that in 1959 when I was 15 years old. At that time, her son, Frederick, everybody calls him Pap, was my boyfriend. I let him go, and on March 31st, 2008, we celebrated 51 years of being together. Then on June 3rd, 2008, we celebrated our 41st wedding anniversary. While my mother-in-law put it into words, I watched my mother put it into action. She let my father go, and they were happily married for almost 35 years until his death in 1974.
Okay, so what does it mean to let your husband go?
It's coming right here. It's coming right now. Let him go doesn't mean don't care. It means be secure enough within yourself that you don't freak out if he's not with you and you don't know exactly where he is. Let him go means don't try to control where he can go or what time he must leave or return. Let him go means don't try to control him, period. Let him go means don't try so hard to change him. After you have paid your dues, you may tread lightly in this area, but be careful. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. In addition to letting him go, I have observed the need for and used other philosophies and behaviors to help keep me and my man in a warm, loving, and peaceful relationship. My thinking was he may go, but he'll always come home if I make coming home worth it. But what kinds of things can I do to make it worth coming home? Well, then it goes into the book. That answers your question?
That
answers your question?
So much. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Okay, so what makes coming home worth it?
All right. Modify the way you think. A lot of girls, females, they think in really weird ways as far as relationships are concerned. It's not realistic to expect make-believe or storybook happiness. There have been bride dolls forever, but until recently, there were no groom dolls. On the wedding day, the bride may be nervous, but she is radiant and confident. She's probably been waiting for this day most of her life, while playing with her dolls, talking about it with her girlfriends, and fantasizing about it. Now look at just about any groom on his wedding day, and he is like a fish out of water. He probably has not spent a lot of time daydreaming about getting or being married to anybody. And the way most men act, a wedding is akin to a funeral for freedom and fun. The bachelor party is seen as the groom's last hurrah. Yeah. And then it goes on. Oh, some more to that chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, the next chapter, observe and learn your man. The old folks used to say you don't know a person until you live with him or her, but you don't have to live with your man in order to observe and learn how he is. It's a good idea to watch for and listen to the signs and words that tell you what he is passive about, what he likes, what he loves, what he is passionate about, and what he dislikes. If he likes this and you like that, make sure he always has what he considers to be an adequate level of this. When you hear him tell someone else what he likes or doesn't like, pay attention. If you already know it, so much the better. If you don't already know it, take note. Then that chapter goes on. Any questions?
I'm liking this a lot. My question to you is when you're telling someone to observe a man, what tip or what way would you tell them, like for someone who's new to this, so that way they could do a good job in really observing?
Just listen. Listen to what he says he likes and what he says he doesn't like. It's just that simple.
Just listen.
Yes.
Just listen. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. When he's talking to somebody else, listen to that too.
Yeah, that's a really, really good one, because you get to see it like from different perspective, how he's talking to his friends, how he's talking to his relatives, things like that. Yeah.
That answers your question?
Yep.
Okay. Be willing and ready to pay your dues. God put the onus on men that they must be willing to die for their women. So I figured that if I were a man, I would not be willing to die for a woman who could not show me that she was definitely in my corner. In most long-term relationships where the couple is in their 70s or 80s or 90s, the man seems content to sit back and relax and let his wife be the assertive one. Why? Probably because in virtually all situations, she has proven that she will say and do the right thing. He knows that he can trust her judgment. That did not happen overnight. It also did not happen without a lot of tears shed by the female, a lot of unlearning undertaken by the female, a lot of heated discussions, and a lot of other stuff. Any questions about that, Jeff?
That's good. Yes, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Next chapter, fantasy versus reality. This is a big one. Romance novels, and I used to read them, and magazines taught us that men are nice in shining armor. We can expect them to be sensitive, romantic, suave, punctual, attentive, patient, unselfish, observant. A passage might go something like this. Mary had spent the whole day preparing for Tom's return from work. His shirts were washed and ironed. The house was clean and dinner was ready. It was 5:22 when she heard Tom's key in the door. He was always home before 6. She rushed to the door to greet him. When he opened the door and to see her, his face lit up into a big, bright smile. He wrapped her in a tender embrace and kissed her passionately. When he let her go, she was heavenly breathless. Hi, sweetheart, I'm home a little early. I hope that doesn't upset your schedule. New dress? You look gorgeous. Man, I'm a lucky guy. The house looks wonderful. What are you cooking? It smells delicious. I hope we're having dinner by candlelight. You look even more beautiful in candlelight. That's what we read, and that's what we fantasized on. And that's a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
But that's what they put in those books.
Till the plot gets all twisty and dirty, but yeah.
Yeah, but that's what they had us believing. A whole lot of crap. Next chapter, learn how to fight.
Ooh, I'm going to like this one.
There are arguments, and then there are heated discussions or debates. In an argument, usually someone is trying to, quote, win, unquote. Maybe both people are trying to win. In the process of trying to win, words can become dangerous weapons. A person can say mean and ugly things and later be sorry, but it can be too late to be sorry. In a heated discussion or debate, each person is sharing his or her point of view, feelings, observations, experiences, opinions. The goal is mutual understanding, or if that can't be reached, agreeing to disagree. But winning is not an issue. When you have a disagreement, choose your words and actions wisely. One word, phrase, or action can lead to another. Then before you know it, the situation has escalated and you're headed for separation or divorce.
I love the distinction between the fight of trying to win and that heated discussion or the argument is more just that mutual understanding or basically taking out that winning part of it. That makes it really clear for people because all the time, like people say, yeah, couples have to fight and couples have to argue and disagree and they do, but
they can do it civilly.
Yes, exactly.
They can do it civilly. So,
yes, exactly.
Okay, next chapter. Remember that you have faults too. Now remember, this is written for women.
Okay.
What is a
men
fault?
listening to this, like
yes.
Look at this from the reverse.
Oh, men
okay.
are buying this book too. Men, I think they want to know what I'm telling the ladies. For the most part, they agree. What is a fault? Well, according to the American Heritage Dictionary of the English language, a fault is something that prevents perfection. When women get together, if the discussion turns to male-female relationships and men's behavior and faults, and it almost always does, I have never heard a woman make any statement relative to the fact that her man has to put up with her faults. From listening to women, you think that females don't have faults.
Yeah.
You listen to women, you think that we don't have faults. I think
men will also say the same about that. Like they'll say it flip about themselves on women.
Oh yeah, they do. But the smart ones realize and recognize that they have faults too.
And the smart women like you do too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got faults. Nobody's perfect. Next chapter. Nothing is too precious for him. This one goes into a lot of women have houses that they like to showcase and they have a room where the king of the castle can't go. So I grew up with a whole lot of those kind of women. They had plastic stuff all over their furniture. And it was like, you didn't want to sit down.
Yeah.
When you went into their homes, so
it's like, what's the point of the furniture if you can't actually use it? I never understood that.
Yeah. But see, some women like have some areas that are off limits to him. Yeah, you shouldn't do that, but to each his own. So I say that's unhealthy.
Yeah.
Got any questions?
No.
Okay.
You're super clear. You make things really easy to understand and things like that. Yeah.
Okay. Next chapter. Think before you speak. What is the reaction that you want to get from your man? The answer to that question should determine what you will say or do. If you don't have time to think, it probably would be better if you say or do nothing for the time being. You can always say or do something later after you've thought about it. Think before you speak. So that's a big one.
Oh, yes. And our life fixers know how much you talk about stopping and thinking. So, yes, that is a really good one.
Next chapter. Always be a lady. There's an old saying, be a lady in the parlor and a tramp in the bedroom. I'm going to talk about being a lady. I'll leave you to your own imagination of being a tramp in the bedroom. In the parlor is a dressing.
You have a good imagination.
Yeah. In the parlor is a dressing when you are in the company of or can be seen by others. Ladies are respectful of themselves and others. Ladies don't get drunk in public. Ladies don't insult their men or their children, especially not in the presence of others. Ladies are not loud and boisterous. Ladies make their men, children, and others feel good about being in their presence because others know that they will be treated with class, dignity, and respect. Ladies have a positive reputation.
Oh, yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any questions on that one?
All good.
Okay. Next chapter. If he has children, accept and treat them as your own. In our storybook world, we want to be the one to give birth to all his children. And some of us can be severely offended if another female gives birth to his child before or during his relationship with us. Well, life happens and we can't rewrite it, but we can write our own piece of it. So what's it going to be? Are you going to act like a cruel witch? And I don't mean witch. Or are you going to act like a kind and gentle lady? So you got to treat his children just like you would treat the ones that you gave birth to. Because sometimes I've seen it happen in life. The ones you gave birth to will turn their back on you, and the ones you didn't give birth to will be there for you. I've seen that.
Either way, you want it, even if your own children don't turn their backs on you, you want to give his children the most love. You don't know, I don't know, depending on every situation is different, but not always will their mother be there. Yeah. Yes. And even if there is, like, be there, that extra mom to really go and give them what they need.
Exactly. You don't try to take his mother's place or their mother's place, whichever.
Exactly.
You don't do that. This is a really big one. Don't take man advice from a woman who has no man. Women do that all the time.
Oh, yes.
I have always been amazed by the manless women who try to tell another woman how to treat her man. I remember a time when Pap and I had been married about 5 or 6 years, and we had some friends over. Pap asked me to get him a glass of water. We both were about the same distance from the kitchen sink. One manless woman, jokingly, with a question mark, spoke out, "You're just as close to the sink as she is. Get your own water." Pap did not reply. Without saying a word, I took him a glass of water. My thinking was, you don't have a man. How can you tell me how to treat mine? If I follow your advice, I won't have a man either. And you'll probably be first in line trying to get him after he leaves me.
Oh, probably. Yes.
Okay, next chapter. Look good 99% of the time. I love being eye candy for me and Pap. So I don't have any problem with that. So I like to look sexy, what I think is looking nice, So I like eye candy. And when I look at women, I look at them to see what they've got on, how they put it together. That's eye candy too.
It is.
Yeah. Any questions?
Good. No. Yeah. What's that 1% when not of the time? You said 99%. Yeah. When's that?
99% of the time. So, but 1% of the time, you are allowed to, maybe put on.
Yeah.
Yeah. But never wear a scrubby looking house coat and scrubby looking. I like to look sexy. I like house coats that look nice and nightgowns that are short. I still wear short stuff, mini skirts. When I was in the 1970s, I started wearing, and I ain't stopped.
Oh, I'm sure Pat loves it.
Yeah, he does. He really does. That's look good 99% of the time. Next chapter. Don't use sex as a weapon.
Yes.
Uh-huh. A lot of women do that.
Mm-hmm.
And they brag about, oh, he's sleeping on the couch tonight. Nobody needs to know that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know why you would say it. I don't know, but I don't
Why is it even
that.
happening?
Yeah. Okay. Over the life of your relationship, your man is going to make you mad plenty of times. If you truly love him and you come to realize and understand that this too shall pass, then there's no reason to withhold sex as a way of getting even. And if you're happier with him than you would be without him, there's no reason for you to want to get even. The relationship has to blossom to the point where you're emotionally and spiritually comfortable with each other. And know that whatever the problem, you'll work it out together. As I said previously, develop and live by the motto that separation, divorce is not an option. That's our motto. Next chapter. Don't depend on your man to make you happy. He can do things that please you, and he can do things that displease you. But if he can make you happy, he can also make you unhappy. If your happiness doesn't come from within you, then you are in for some miserable days and nights. My younger sister, Ava, sums it all up when she says, quote, I enjoy my own company, unquote, and then it goes on. Next chapter, pray and laugh together. We do that. So whatever you believe in, Allah, Buddha, Jesus, whatever, pray and laugh together. And then the last chapter, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. And then it's followed by all the recipes.
Oh, wow.
That's the book.
That is awesome. I love that book. It's short and so concise and is what you need to really go and have a man like you. Oh, I like that so very much. Okay. So before I ask you our final question, where can Life Fixers connect with you and learn more about you?
Okay. Go to goodshortbooks.com. And the books are true to the website's name. They're good and they're short.
That's good. Proven in this episode.
Goodshortbooks.com. So that's the website. You can email me, and I do respond to emails at goodshortbooks@yahoo.com. So it's the same thing. goodshortbooks@yahoo.com.
Awesome. We'll put those links in the show notes so everyone will
be. Yeah. And I'm on Twitter, JJ, the letter J, Fields, Fields, and the number 7. I'm on Twitter. I'm on TikTok with the same.
You're on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be friends because I'm not on Twitter, but TikTok I am.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
So we'll do that.
I'm on
awesome.
TikTok. Yeah,
most people your age are like, Twitter. That's for little kids. So it makes me excited when I see people.
Well, I'm trying to tell people about these books because the readers are on TikTok too.
That is correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just trying to tell people about the books. The books are really good. We have relationships. That's the one we're talking about. Parenting, one called Mother's Dozen, an easy recipe for raising great kids. And that teaches you or guides you to raise kids who are independent, mannerable, polite, responsible, all of the wonderful traits and characteristics. And you want to know about that one?
Yeah, I think we're going to put the links in the show notes for that. So all the
everyone can go and
find.
But then I got parenting. Yeah. I have all kinds of. I've got quotes if you like quotes. One of the quotes that I coined in 2013, it was chosen for 2013 Women's Calendar. And that quote states, I put this on social media because I want to encourage people to chase their dreams. Yeah. It's better to die chasing a dream never caught than to die never having chased the dream. That quote was chosen as one out of 12 for the calendar. Out of over 5,000 entries. I'm very proud of that fact.
Yes. I'm very proud of that too for you. Wow.
It's better to die chasing a dream never caught than to die never having chased the dream. And I put that on there because there are so many people that will squash your dreams for you, So you could tell somebody you want to do something. Oh, that's not a good idea. Oh, you can't do that. That's impossible. Oh, you can't. You don't have enough. All of those things that God gave everybody dreams. Chase them.
Yes. Okay. So for our final question, How would you describe an extraordinary relationship without using love, trust, and connection?
Communication and peace.
I like that. I like that so much.
Yeah. It's all about, love is subjective. Peace is not.
Yes. Right? Awesome. Well, thank you so much, JJ. This was so much fun. I absolutely love your book, and I know the audience will too. And I hope to speak to you again soon.
Okay.
For now.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
That's all for this episode of the Life Picks University podcast, but I have a huge favor to ask of you that will not only support the show, but will also help the people you love most. We are striving for 1 million downloads by the end of 2025, and we can't do this without your help. If you love this episode, please share it with 2 of your family and friends so they too can rewire their brains to have an extraordinary marriage. It was awesome spending time with you, and I'll see you on the next episode.